All right, good evening. It is March 23rd, 2016 at 7 p.m. and this is the meeting of the Auburn Conservation Commission. This meeting is being recorded for further viewing. You can view the web or the video by going to auburnguide.com. Before we begin tonight's meeting, I am required to ask if anyone is making a recording of this meeting.
Thank you.
If that is not the case, the first item on the agenda is the 7 o'clock public hearing. The applicant is Masad Family LLC, filing a notice of intent for the realignment of Faith Avenue. Is there a motion to open?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's a vote.
Thank you, Commission. Glenn Kowalski of EBT Environmental. We're having some issue with getting, at this point, Waterman here. They can be at the next meeting. We do know that apparently Ms. Jillian Davies is possibly being called on board and she'll be reviewing. I just emailed her the sheet 5A, which I gave you as a revised sheet from the original notice of intent submission, and a full new notice of intent which had a couple of revisions on. I believe it was sheet 2 of the NOI, which had numbers change on the BBW and bank. So she has now all the information, 72-page NOI with the plans, and then added 5A added in. We're here just to briefly ask you if you could bring in, or if you chose to, maybe if you don't choose to, Fish and Wildlife is still waiting to hear from you. If you have the inclination to ask them to take a look at Eddy Pond and the sediment coming in, that would be Mr. Richard Hartley. It's just a very brief letter. He will do it for a town, you know, but obviously they work for the Commonwealth and they readily come in if you ask them. He won't do it for a private individual. I have talked to Mr. Bill Clarity of DOT. They've inspected the site. I just talked to him a couple of days ago. They understand the situation within the Cloverleaf. We're getting back to that 86-foot long delta on Eddy Pond, 7 feet deep and on it 45 feet wide. And one other thing on that matter, DOT does believe that most of the sediment came from upgradient, and from when I showed Ms. Davies and the rest of the board, it appears a lot of it came off of Faith Ave in the years that sand was used, because it filled in the concrete sluiceway, which I gave you as an exhibit in the notice of intent and described at the last meeting. So they're willing to help along with the work that might occur to remove the sand, which is creating delta. This is just a point of mitigation towards this Faith Ave request that we have to move Faith Ave. So we have some, as you know, some mitigations going in. So if I get Fish and Wildlife involved, then I can get then I will have DEP and the inspection. I can move forward and maybe talking to Mr. Bill Coyle also and see what kind of cooperation we can have to stop this or arrest the delta formation. By the next meeting, we should be able to come back into describing the engineering aspects and the infiltration aspects of the movement of Faith Ave, the replication areas, and possibly at that time, Ms. Davies might have had a chance to send in her estimate for how much it's going to cost for peer review, so that she can get into looking at that. And
I think I'm going to have that next week. I think she said she'll get that to me.
Excellent. And then we could maybe have an inspection of these mitigation areas, the replication areas, and, you know, obviously have her consult you on how this NOI looks.
Okay, very good. Sheila, do we have anything on for April 12th?
No, we don't.
Okay. So can we continue this to 7 p.m.?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Thank you. We
Mrs.
request that.
Can I have a motion to that
Make
effect,
a
please?
motion that we continue the 7 o'clock hearing for the Masad Family LLC to April 12th at 7 p.m. for
I'll second
Mr.
that.
Kowalski's request.
Okay. Is there any discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed to vote? Okay, great.
Might we see something on that fisheries
You will.
issue?
I think I sent them a letter, Glenn. I think I tried to send it to him and he couldn't open it, and I think I just sent it out.
Okay,
so
you might already have a letter out.
We did.
I'm pretty sure I did.
We did discuss it, and we will attend to it.
I appreciate that very much.
All right.
You had Mr. Fahn on, and I know I was only taking a brief moment, so I asked Ms. Conroy if I could just briefly just state, you put Fahn on for the end of the meeting. It was so brief
For
that
Pioneer Lane.
that was that Phil, and I said at the meeting I was at a couple meetings ago that
Yes.
if it was still flooded, it'd be a problem to get in there. We're set up with the surveyor on Friday.
Okay.
It's still flooded. Here's some photos for your files that just show that it's flooded as of still this weekend, and we need to get that drier before we can get in there and actually do the topo. And Quinn Engineering's on board, and LaPrad's on board for surveying. So nothing's happening there.
Okay.
Just to let, that's looking at CVS from across the yard, so it's still wet.
Well, this
That's,
is.
that's
this
quite a
isn't,
problem, isn't it?
Okay, this is
Mike,
different.
This is at the end of your
Yeah.
meeting, and the reason I brought up, I
Behind
said,
CVS.
Yeah.
just because I took up such a brief time on Diamond, if I could just say that I'd ask for a continuance on that also.
Yeah.
That's all.
Okay.
Okay.
So, thank you again for that time. Thank you for letting me bring that in. Thank you, people.
Sheila, do you want?
Thank you, Glenn.
Thank you, Sheila. Bye now. Have a good time
great
till the
night.
next meeting.
Happy Easter.
Good
Nice Easter. Thank you. You too, Glenn.
Something else. God, what is the source of that water? It's like a pond.
It's gonna be running off in that just
Same picture from our last rain event.
That was a long time ago.
Well, this is dated March 19th.
Just,
Yeah, Colin,
4 days ago.
Crossing Colin.
Yeah.
That's the back end of CVS.
Okay.
That's behind, between.
When we
Martin
went there, it
and
was relatively dry though,
Well, it's
right?
frozen,
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
you know, so it's
That's
still.
an excellent point, and there was snow. So it's right, yeah.
Maybe it thawed out, it's starting to
Yeah,
bubble
and
up.
I'm looking at that here.
It's a pond. Maybe it's a pond is back there.
That's no bueno.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring my gavel.
Yeah.
I think so.
I think so.
Parking lot's out here, right, side of it, right.
Just the back of it.
Hello?
Across the street. Wow. Okay. Sheila, do you want this?
Yeah, I know. Okay. All right, the next item on our agenda for this evening is the 7 o'clock public hearing, an application by the town of Auburn, specifically a request for determination for wetlands in a stream located near the vicinity of 3 and 7 Magna Vista Drive. Is there a motion to open?
Actually, I have a question. What, we have 2 issues at 7.
We just took care of Mr.
Yeah,
Kowalski. It was
yeah.
because of a scheduling error.
Yeah.
Okay, so Scrivener's error, what's it gonna say?
It
or-
was a
No, it
scheduling
was
error.
us. Yeah, that was
Yes, I
us
don't think the
because Sheila
scrivener
was
made a
gone.
mistake in this
I was
case.
gone and didn't
All
know
right.
that was
So-
Gone, and we
carrying over.
moved it to the next 7 PM.
Question.
Like,
Okay.
I was gone for the schedule.
You weren't here
period.
for that.
Right. Anyway, there's a motion to, may I have a motion open?
I have a motion to open, please.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed to vote. Ms. Paquin, how are? Hello.
Hello, Joanna Paquin, civil engineer at the DPW. So we're here to propose to remove 2 beaver dams behind 7 and 3 Magna Vista.
Okay.
The sewer,
Could you speak louder because we're behind you and
Okay.
we can't hear you?
we shut the door.
Maybe this door, no,
I think
shut the
it's
door.
that.
Yeah.
No, okay, it's not changing.
Open hearing, open.
Can you speak up?
I'll try. I have I'm getting over a cold too, so I apologize.
No problem.
So the sewer department has a sewer main crossing the stream behind those 2 properties, and the beaver dam, the 2 beaver dams are actually raising the water level. So to prevent the sewer main from getting inundated and possibly doing some damage to the infrastructure, we'd like to remove the beaver dams to make sure that doesn't happen. I have some pictures. I
Okay.
can just, unfortunately, I was having issues with the printer, so I couldn't collate them. So this is the same picture of 3 Magna Vista.
It's all the same picture.
This one is the same
This
picture.
is one picture, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we can either, I'll just throw them around.
Thanks. Perfect.
You need one more now. You don't get one.
No, I don't need it.
Oh,
I don't need one. It's okay.
they're very pretty beaver dams. So
Is
it's
this
a,
the dam right here?
yes, there's
Okay.
just a lot of debris, and I know that Mrs. Wharton has been going out there trying to clear the water, to get the water to flow. It's just getting a little bit out of hand right now.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
We got it. So, thank you.
Thank you.
And the bigger one, the one that's actually holding back a lot of water right now, is the one behind 7 Magna Vista.
Wow. That's quite a,
It's amazing what the beavers can do. Like others.
Wow, thank you.
This is it.
Do you have another of the second picture, please? Oh, yeah, that's
I'm sorry to me. That's yours.
Second.
I can't get over it.
Wow. Okay.
Well, I guess he's seasoning.
Those industrious beavers.
Yes.
Look at them. Is that unbelievable?
I'm not sure if they pulled any permits to build
Destroy
it.
your fine handiwork.
You should hear him.
no, I don't think the beavers pull permits, I think we
So
know.
are these at 3, Joanna?
There's another one.
Three, this is 3,
These
is
are,
this,
this is the same one. The first two
Okay.
pictures
Wow.
are the same ones.
I know.
is that 3
And
Magna Vista?
that's 3 Magna Vista.
Indeed.
So quite. Wow. Yeah.
More?
Yeah, that's just, there's 2 pictures of each
Okay.
area. Am I missing
That
anybody?
along the beaver dam.
Go high up more.
I think we have a pretty good
Thank you.
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've got it one.
So we would have the highway department come in and with the mini excavator to stay on the shore and pull out whatever they can.
Uh-huh.
And then just handwork to remove that beaver dam and kind of let the water out.
Okay,
get it
now-
trickle out.
I mean, all that's was filed with it was a request for determination of applicability to see if we have jurisdiction. And, I mean, there's really no dispute about us having jurisdiction, is there?
Well, it's basically it's the water. It's the work of
It's a town project, is what you're saying.
whether or not the work is we're not dredging or altering the wetlands. It's
Uh-huh.
we're
Well-
basically removing the debris.
I guess my problem is that I mean, you've told me what the plan is, but I don't see any sort of methodology.
Okay.
And, I mean, and I'm sure, you know, obviously there are butters here from Magna Vista that I'm sure going to have some public comment about this. Aside from, you know, clearing the existing beaver dams, what is there a proposal to try to prevent this from happening again, or to improve the water quality in this area?
Well, what we would do is actually remove the debris and truck it off-site so that the material wasn't left for them to rebuild it.
Okay.
But unfortunately, that's sort of the nature of the beast.
I understand.
That if they have the material and if they find a really good spot,
Right.
there's multiple areas in
Now-
town that.
Sure, no, I understand that. Now, how will you gain access to the area so that you can clear out the debris?
We have permission.
Not yet, you'll get your turn in a minute.
No, I'm saying my yard.
Oh, okay, oh, so you're gonna, Mrs. Warren, you're gonna give permission? Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay.
They've already asked.
Okay, so what kind of equipment are you gonna use for this?
A mini excavator, and then just basically handwork to try to
Okay,
get that.
and what would your timetable be for this?
We would like to do it, well, we wouldn't need approval from the Board of Health if we do it before April 15th,
Okay,
because it's open season for beavers right
I
now.
see.
After that, it gets a little bit more
So do you
complicated.
anticipate that during the course of the cleanup work that beavers may be trapped?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
Because the beavers are, we don't believe that there's any beavers in the actual dam, because they live in the huts that they build.
Right,
So we wouldn't really be, trapping any beavers.
Okay.
It would just be hoping to relocate them
all right.
in a little bit more.
But, but is that part of the, is that gonna be part of the effort? I mean, as you're doing the excavation, if you see a beaver there, you're gonna try to relocate it?
We're not gonna be touching the beavers. We're trying to live in harmony with them.
Okay, all right. Will there be any dredging of the channel?
No,
So just removing,
just removing that, the debris.
okay, all right.
So how are you gonna ensure it won't flood someone?
We're looking at this area. It's pretty level. The big dam behind 7 Magna Vista. That's a pretty big difference in elevation. So we'll probably try to let some water trickle out and kind of let the elevation equalize. So it might take. We might start the project and then have to come back the next day, just so that it's not,
I
it
guess I'm
doesn't
just
affect other
wondering,
properties.
if you do that, is it gonna go, is it clear which way it's gonna go? Like,
It's
Not
actually,
clear to me where this water's gonna go, that's all.
it's going into,
Do you want me to
Oh,
show you
so
on
it's
the
just
map?
kinda like this,
Stoneville, yeah.
The dams are up in here.
okay.
This is, this is Larry, this is John 7, this is 5, this is 3.
Okay.
The dam, the biggest dam is right here.
so the,
It's huge.
This
This
is
is
the
the one
dam
going
that-
across.
Can you state your name, please,
The
for the
water's just
record?
gonna go in
Valerie
Stoneville
Ray.
Pond.
Okay. And where do you live, Ms.
We're
Ray?
at number 5, which
Okay.
is here.
Okay.
But the biggest dam is like right here behind number 7.
I'm number 7.
so
That's right.
this is.
You can't
basically,
see
I
it
think,
'cause of the
somewhere
trees.
around that area. near
Usually
that
it's just
shed.
muck back there, but because of the beavers, it's like, it's literally a pond, a Yabby Beaver
Like,
pond.
what's the elevation
they do.
difference in Seven's yard
I
from
like to make
where the
ponds.
water is?
The elevation difference between,
I mean, do you have any, I don't want
No, they're not gonna touch
you to
it.
let this go and all of a sudden there may be a bunch of water going through this backyard, you know?
no, this
Somebody
is,
wanna
this is
call on
draining.
that?
Okay.
This is going down into
No,
the pond.
she's still making a presentation. sorry.
It's just, and I believe that we have permission from the property owners at 7
Mhm.
to also go on their property to clear this. I think the abutting property owners are also concerned about their property themselves, because they're losing land.
Right,
So it's kind of a win-win
okay.
for us, not for the beavers, probably.
I know that you're not going to touch the beavers. You're expecting them to relocate? Is that what you, who knows where?
We don't really know.
Right.
They
So
actually
could-
have a hut on the big pond.
They could in fact
Rebuild.
decide to come back?
They could.
Okay,
What they tend to do.
They've done it
You know,
before.
I wouldn't be surprised.
okay, thank you.
Any other comments from the board? Okay.
Are you gonna try and knock out any of the trees that they've already impacted?
I don't believe that we're trying to, I mean, if they're in danger of falling, if they can reach it, they might try to take it, but, that's sort of the issue in that area, that, you see a lot of trees with the chicken mesh around them, just to,
Yeah, exactly.
because,
If you don't mind my saying, right across from the dam, the big dam, there's a tree that they've gnawed into. And when a big wind comes on, it'll go right across the pond, right, and smash my shed apart.
I think that there's one
It'll just come right down.
Could we have your names?
What's your name,
Oh,
sir?
I'm John
That's okay.
Roachford.
Okay.
Yeah,
Number 7.
number 7.
Thank you.
Okay. How many years have you observed this tree?
How many years? It's
Yeah.
only been since the last time around we had the beavers.
We were here
And
before.
they- and
Serious
Yeah, one of the trees came down, almost clipped my grandson, almost hit him right in the head. That's when we came here the last time, because
Okay.
it was kind of a danger. You have the kids down there, and they obviously have an interest in the dam.
Sure.
And it gets to be a little on the dangerous side.
Okay. Mr. Benoit, you had a comment?
Yes, sir. Just to disclose, Matthew Benoit, town planner. I'm not here in my capacity as town employee. I'm here as a butter of the 8 Magna Vista Drive.
Okay.
Just to help answer Mr. Olson's question, as the dams will be removed, the water level will come back to the pond because the dams are keeping the water up.
Away from the-
So the water is eventually going to come back towards the pond, so it'll be less, I guess, more like a trickle. That's what we're trying to get out of this. I had a fortunate pleasure to go out there today and take a look at these things. So in addition to the 2 dams, there's also the tree that Mr. Roachford mentioned that fell into the water. It's a large oak, I believe, that is probably it's between the 2 dams. Plenty to come out with it, but I think that could be covered in the work. But
Now, you were there today, or you made a close observation today?
yeah,
The tree that Mr. Roachford referred to, do you think it's in danger of falling?
it's already in the water. That's what I'm thinking of.
There's
Okay.
another
That's another one that came down.
He's referring to, I think.
I'm talking about another one that's over there where there's a good, almost halfway through the stump.
They've whittled it.
They've whittled it.
Then if it's a hazard, it should be taken down.
Right.
That's right.
I mean,
Thank
I understand that the highway department is gonna do their best to clear as much of the debris.
Okay.
We're gonna be on the other side of the stream, so whatever they can reach, they will.
Okay. All right.
Um,
Okay. Does anyone else from the audience have any comments?
Well, I have pictures of 6 years ago when we came the last time, and you can see the difference in the devastation of my backyard. This was what my backyard used to look like, and now I've lost 2/3 of my backyard.
Due to what? Erosion?
The water's going up higher and higher and washing all the land away.
Okay.
I have trees, I have 10 trees underwater.
So obviously, removing these dams should give you a benefit.
Yes, definitely.
Water's gonna come back, that's what she's saying, water's gonna come back, like it says.
The elevation.
Once the elevation will increase. So she would gain a lot of water in that picture. And a lot to gain.
It's just working out by the root.
But all that land is now gone, it's all water. So 2/3 of my lower backyard is gone.
There used to be like a 3-foot wide brook that went down from Burnett Street into the pond. So you could jump across the brook.
Not anymore.
No.
We have a pond, it's an actual pond out there.
There's a pond in my backyard, no longer a brook.
And if you went in the brook, you
1-3.
could wade across it. It was only that deep. Now it's 6 feet deep out there.
Okay. Well, hopefully
We have the
by
big dam, but they have the pond. I love the pond, but it's ruining the trees. Like, we love the wildlife that we see, and we hate seeing the mud, but the trees are getting ruined.
right.
They're all
Exactly.
just falling.
Sure. Okay. Any other comments? Okay. Any other comment from the board? Is there a motion to close?
Make a motion that we close the hearing on beaver dams and that other stuff.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed to vote. All right. Thank you very much. We'll make a decision this evening.
Wow, good pictures. That's very nice.
And that's the green.
Yeah, too bad there's no green left.
Yeah, well, maybe it'll come back.
I hope so.
Thank you for coming.
Get rid of the water.
Sort them out when I get
Thank you. Sure.
Yeah.
I got rid of last year.
Well, if they're not going to trap them, they're going to keep coming back.
Well, no, I mean, if it's this big, why would they wait 6 years?
I think it's a
That's a good point.
Wait until it's critical. You can see it happening every
I mean,
year for 6 years.
well, I remember she came, I remember she came one last time.
Yeah, but usually they work pretty quick.
Right.
Oh, beavers?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We were here.
Once they decide to do it, it'll just happen.
Well, I keep the minutes though.
No, but she's saying that it's getting worse and worse, and the trees are dying. It takes years for the trees to die off.
Yeah, that's true too, yeah.
And of course it looks brown now.
Like that.
Winter.
I got it.
How many years you been on it?
So, the next item on our agenda is the 7:15 request for termination from Tech Associates for the Providence and Worcester Railroad.
God bless
I
you.
understand there's been a request to continue.
Yes, there has.
Okay, and that's to our next meeting.
Yes.
Now, they have it as 4:13, but it's really 4:12, isn't it?
Okay, that was me messing up, I'm sure.
No problem. All right.
You better.
I do have a question, though, about the request for the waiver of the abutter notification.
Yeah, they wanted to know if they could waive the abutter notification
Why?
because of the size of the scope of this project,
Uh-huh.
the entire railroad,
Mm-hmm.
the vegetation management plan.
Right. Well, I mean, no one's ever requested a waiver from the bylaw requirement that we give abutters notice, but I suppose we can take it up. Did they give you any indication how many abutters they would have to notify?
150, it says, according to the letter.
Okay.
$2,500 in postage.
All right.
Thank you.
Or no, $1,000
Here it is.
and labor of $2,500.
Labor. Yeah, the labor would be $2,500, so you're looking at
Do you think that's a compelling reason?
$3,500.
Well, the thing is,
The
do
last time
they
they came in,
have,
they didn't,
What they'll do is they still have to publish in the newspaper,
$1,000 for,
yeah.
you know? So,
I mean, is this the sort of, is the nature of this project the sort where you've seen this sort of thing waived before?
no one's ever requested.
Right.
Well,
But
So,
this
I
is,
mean,
I think that maybe the question is the work that's being proposed of the nature that we can consider and grant a waiver request?
Probably because prior to this, prior to us adopting our regulations, you didn't have to notify abutters for an RDA.
That's right.
oh,
See,
okay.
that is the difference between
Ah.
the Wellings Protection Act and our bylaw. Yes, as I recently reminded myself of.
okay, and
So-
then it looks like there's some points that they're pointing out here, so I don't know if it's along the whole corridor.
But if it's an RDA, if we say it's a positive determination, then they'd have to file an NOI, in
That's
which case they
exactly-
would have to notify abutters.
That's exactly
yeah,
right.
they
Okay.
have to.
Okay.
I mean,
I don't have
We
a...
didn't open this hearing.
2011.
I did.
Yes, we
Well,
did.
I actually, yeah, we did.
Really? Because I didn't, who motioned to open it? I haven't got anything written down.
Do this
we
again.
had
No,
discussion.
let's do it again.
We had discussion.
All right.
about it.
I started to do it, and then we went right into it. So.
Okay.
All right, so for the 7:15 public hearing for Tech Associates, there's a request for determination, but also a request to continue to our next meeting of April 12th. Is there a motion to open?
I motion that we open.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, okay. So so the question then becomes, based on, and you know, I have no idea what we're gonna do clearly until they make their presentation. I don't feel that the public interest is gonna be compromised if we grant a waiver request, but that's just my opinion. And because notice will be given in the newspaper.
Given
Have we
the
ever
fact
had
you're
any-
nominated for the Supreme Court, I think
I am not,
barely.
I have to
Oh,
disabuse
that's not
you
you.
of, no,
I'm
It's
sorry.
not him.
I mean, I would,
Merrick, I'm sorry.
He's not even gonna be discussed.
just speaking for myself, I would wonder whether asking for a waiver is premature, because if we say, if the answer for the request for determination is no, then they don't have to file an NOI. And if they have to file an NOI, then they will have to notify abutters, and then there is no waiver for that.
But, see, they
Right.
should have mailed those notices out a week before the meeting. That's why they asked to continue it, so that you could open the hearing, decide whether or not you're going to allow them to waive the abutters, and then go from there.
But it's
You
kind of
say
hard to
no on
decide
the
that before we
waiver.
see the materials, isn't it?
Well,
It's your vegetation plan that we usually get every,
And ask
we
about
get
the
it,
bees.
we get it submitted to us once a year.
yeah,
Have we ever had any abutters come present at the meetings when this comes up?
Never.
no, never.
But that, you know, that
But
may
they
be
never
because they
actually
don't
sent
know.
it. Yeah, exactly.
If
They
they
never
don't
sent
know,
it.
then
I think most
Well,
of the
it's a
work,
public
though,
hearing notice.
most of the work is within their easement. You know, and so abutters, I mean, I'm thinking the direct impact on abutters is probably minimal. But again, I think Dan raises a good point as well.
So are you thinking we would typically issue a negative determination?
I'm not, I can't say that for a fact.
Yeah.
I think in the past we have that.
Okay. So then it's been kind of a moot point.
Yeah. Can you recall, do you know if we've issued negative determinations on these requests in the past? And if you don't know, that's fine.
I really can't.
Okay.
I know we get the vegetation reports every,
Vegetation management plan
either every 6 months or something, what they're doing there, and they let
I
us
think
know.
what we typically do is, I think, and again, this is just based on my memory, is that we typically issue a negative determination with conditions that they do provide us with
Report.
the reports,
Yeah.
you know.
And I don't
So-
think they're clearing 250 feet like New England Power did
Right.
either,
Right.
you know.
Okay.
Oh, that's true. They did clear a lot.
Well, in any event, there is a request for a waiver for the abutter notification. If anyone feels inclined to make a motion, I'll take it now.
Is it, before we move on to
Sure.
that, Is it also significant that their vegetation management plan expired and is in the process of renewal? Does that change anything?
I don't
Because
think
it's
so.
not currently in effect.
Well, it expired 3 months ago.
Now, would that renewal, would we be looking at that renewal at all, or does that just go through DEP?
Given there's no
Well, they-
vegetation right now.
I
probably
mean, they
doesn't
filed
matter,
with
but-
us.
Right.
And I anticipate they're gonna make a presentation to us on April
Yes.
12th.
I don't know why, but it seems unusual to me, the whole waiving of a butter notices.
I agree with you, it's the first time anyone has
Yeah.
ever made a request. All right,
And I think it might put us in an awkward position in the future.
you're concerned about setting a precedent?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
So, personally, I would say no.
all right, so they've made the request, so I still think we need to vote on their request.
Absolutely.
Um,
There's only one no so far.
So, but
But
we're
if
not
we
voting
don't-
on the request for determination.
No, this is solely on the issue
Just
of whether
for the abutters.
they will be allowed to waive notice to the abutters.
I make the motion that Tech Associates be required, not be allowed to waive the request for butter notification.
Or we could just say we deny the
Or
request.
deny, okay.
All right,
Is that,
I think it's important to phrase the motion in the right manner, so if you want to restate it, just so it's clear.
I make the motion that,
They'd be required to
that they be
notify
required to
abutters.
notify the abutters, Tech Associates, the applicant Tech
Okay.
Associates.
Is there a
Thank
second?
I'll second that.
Is there any further discussion?
Could you do it
Is that the
that,
intent?
I mean, they can do it within 2 weeks, right? Is that?
I was just gonna say, can they re-request that if we come up with a negative determination once we see the plan?
What do you mean? we're
Oh, no,
requesting?
that's right, because they need
They
to
have to-
notify them so that we can do the,
No, I mean, Dan is
Public
absolutely right.
meeting.
If we issue a negative determination, there won't be any further notice. If they're
Right.
required to file a notice of intent, then, they'll have to give notice to abutters again.
And things, we're not really having a hearing on this now because they're not here to talk
No,
about
we're
it.
not, this is solely on the request for the waiver.
Request.
Right.
then I'll vote not to.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, all right, any further discussion? Okay, so all those in favor of Carolyn's motion to require Tech Associates to give abutters notification of the RDA? Say
Aye.
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 Opposed?
Opposed.
Okay, so it's a vote.
I think it might be worth giving them a call, like, immediately, so that there's no time delay. If we're only giving them 2 weeks to do this, like tomorrow, just to give them an extra heads up that,
Yep.
please do this immediately. Because if they have to notify butters and we're only giving them 2 weeks,
Do we have
wait
to
a
only
minute.
We're not
give
giving-
them 2
no,
We
weeks?
wait,
don't
let's-
have to
It's
until
actually
what?
3 weeks.
weeks.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
wait a minute, I thought that, wait a minute, hold on, I'm not understanding this
There's
right.
been a vote, okay, and
I
we've
get
voted on,
that.
and we've denied their request for,
The
To
waiver.
For the waiver.
To waive.
Right. They must notify butters, is what we're saying.
Only
Yes.
if we in the next determination
No.
or,
No,
No,
they're
that's
making
saying
the
do it
okay,
now.
can I
notify them
change
now.
mine then?
All right.
Sorry.
all right. Is there a motion to reconsider
I move
our
that,
previous vote?
I move that we reconsider the previous vote because all the members weren't clear on the wording.
All
I'll
right,
second that.
okay, is there any discussion on the motion to reconsider? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, it's a vote, okay.
Let's make
So-
this very clear.
Right now, all right,
Okay.
and, Carolyn,
Yes?
okay. What this vote concerns, and only concerns, is Tech Associates' request to waive the requirement that abutters be given notice of the request for determination of applicability. Okay, they've requested that the hearing on the RDA be continued to our next meeting on April 12th. That's 3 weeks from tonight. Okay, so Carolyn's motion, again, just to restate it, would deny their request to waive the bylaw requirement that notice be given to abutters of the RDA.
I have an alternate suggestion here. Could we simply defer that decision
No.
The things they would have to notify them,
No,
right?
they
So
have
we
to
can't.
say-
That's what I was getting
It's just,
to,
it's
that's
weird
what
that
I
we're,
was
to me, it's
getting
weird that we're
to.
considering any, it's like, that we're even considering a detail of this without them being here seems a little odd to me.
But this is only on the waiver.
No, but what I'm saying is
But
we
what
are
I'm saying
considering
is-
to make a decision on something where they're not here.
Just so I can clarify, they filed the request for determination of applicability. They gave notice under the Wetlands Protection Act, but not under our bylaw. After they filed the RDA with us, they realized in the bylaw they are required to give notice to
Right.
abutters.
Yeah.
They then requested to continue the public hearing on the RDA to April 12th and then filed a request to waive the requirement to give notice to abutters for the RDA, correct?
Correct.
Okay, got that.
Okay, all right.
So you could argue that due diligence, they should have done it.
They should have done it, they didn't do it. I'm assuming they weren't aware of the requirement.
Is
under
that
our
new to the bylaw?
No.
No?
And our bylaw's been in
2012
effect for a
it's
little,
new.
so
Is that what,
to me,
that's not new?
Well,
It's new.
as of our,
So that's what I mean,
Most
2012,
current
our
right,
most
but they're in a
common.
position where they
Right.
should
You never
have
had to
familiarized
He didn't
themselves
have to
with
do
it.
it
Should have done
before.
it then.
He came in here, I thought it was last
The
year.
problem is that the form that they use doesn't give, and I looked at it, and I can see where the cause of the confusion is. It talks about notice under the Wetlands Protection Act and the regulation, but not our bylaw.
Right.
So that's something, and I think, again, I'm not familiar with Tech Associates. I mean, they're from, if you look, their headquarters is in Portland, Maine. So it's not surprising they weren't aware of our requirement, which I think is probably more stringent than most cities and towns.
Right.
Okay. So, do you understand what's
I got
on
it
the
now.
table?
Yeah,
What's
I
being-
have it.
so a vote in
Yeah.
favor would say that we would
That they
require them to do the
Comply
notice.
with our bylaw.
Right.
Correct.
That
Okay.
the vote opposed would allow a waiver for
That's
this
correct.
requirement.
Okay.
Opposed with that.
All right, so are we ready to vote?
Yes.
Okay, so can you just restate your motion, please?
Oh, I'll try.
Yeah, you can do it.
Sorry. You want to keep that same motion?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Keep the
So
same
the
motion.
motion is to
To
deny their
deny
request
them.
for a waiver.
Correct, thank you.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Is there any more discussion? Okay. All those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed?
Opposed.
Okay, it's a vote. Is it tie? Is it 3 to
Yeah.
3?
You're tied.
Sorry.
You're voting.
So how do we do
I
that?
mean,
We
all
need
we're asking
Tom.
them to do
Tom.
is to comply with our bylaw, though.
But it's,
That's all we're doing, that's
it's a
not true.
$3,500
Yeah. I
like
mean,
Right.
compliance that we didn't require of them the last few times. If,
Right,
if they don't send it out and we,
I mean, my only thing is that we would be a reasonable board for
We are
this
reasonable.
RDA.
It's still our bylaw.
It's not an NOI,
Mm-hmm.
right? And if we find that it is jurisdictional,
That's what I
we
was just
will
gonna
require all abutters to be notified. And it'll be a much
Well,
more
if
stringent process.
that's absolutely true.
but that's, so, that's what I'm saying. That's what I was thinking we were doing before I messed it up in my head, and that's thus the first
See, because
vote that I went
if we
with.
look at this, we say, oh yeah, no, this is no problem, and they just spend all that money.
I say we do
It's
it the
a
next
bylaw.
time around on the NOI.
But that's my opinion.
The problem is
That's why I
that we have
voted.
a tie.
What happens?
I don't know.
You're gonna
Chairman
This
breaks the
hasn't
tiebreaker.
This hasn't happened.
There is,
No, it hasn't.
That's why we
We
have
don't, we
seven
don't, we
members.
don't do
What?
that.
Someone
You're-
has to,
You're-
have
No,
seven
you're the
members.
chairman
Carol,
breaks the
somebody
tiebreaker.
has to change their
You're
mind.
like-
I'm not changing my
You're like
mind.
Judge Roberts.
You're right. I'm not
The thing
changing
is,
my mind.
so I mean,
A
just
butter isn't a butter.
going-
I will say this, okay? And I think because it's a tie, I think they have to comply with the bylaw.
By default. So we haven't voted a waiver by the majority of the board,
No,
so.
no, a waiver request has not been approved.
That's correct.
Right.
Okay, so I think for that reason, they have to comply with the bylaw.
Okay.
And
Okay, because we have not.
the only thing I can, shake your head.
She's trying to get me to change my vote.
No, we've taken,
yeah,
voted on
we've taken the vote, and it was explained twice. I mean, come
All
on.
right.
We're split, but
Yeah.
The only thing I can think of, all right, is to confer with town council, Mr. Hannigan.
Okay.
And then, so we have a tie vote. My feeling is that because the waiver request has not been granted, the bylaw has to be complied with. Let me confer with town council. So let's not notify Tech Associates until I've had a chance to confer with council.
Okay.
I mean, just as a point, we don't mention waiving this requirement anywhere in our bylaw. The only waiver I think we talked about.
The only thing we can waive is the,
is the 25-foot
foot
thing,
bill.
at least explicitly.
Yeah.
But we probably reserve judgment to waive things, though. I don't know.
but we've never done it. We've
Well,
never
no, we've
received
never
a
done it.
request to
Never
do this
And
before.
the other thing is, how long, for what duration of time can someone filing say, I was unaware of your bylaw? Is it 3 months after it's approved? 6 months after it's approved? A year after it's approved? I'm saying if they did their due diligence, they would have known.
That's not an
Ignorance-
excuse.
ignorance
Right,
of
I
the
mean,
law.
it's like, how long ago was our bylaw approved?
That's not the issue.
No,
Ignorance-
well,
Ignorance of the law is not.
Ignorance is not,
Right,
exactly.
right, but what I'm saying is you can't just say, well, your bylaw was approved 3 months ago. Was it okay if it was approved a year ago? You're not familiar with it? I mean, you can't just,
No.
it's a bad precedent.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, we've got a time,
But I
so
think this is a
their request
unique
is,
situation.
their request has not been granted. Okay, end of story, even though
It's true.
it's a deadlock. Right, in the case of a deadlock, I think the bylaw trumps, since the request wasn't granted, the request wasn't granted.
Right.
I'll confer with town council,
Okay,
and I will contact you,
thank
all
you.
right? And then we will go from there.
Okay.
That's always something.
This situation is a precedent.
Write an opinion on this one
Yeah.
now. Case
Oh,
law.
boy.
We have an odd number
Oh.
of people.
We have to make a motion to continue the
Okay.
hearing.
Yes.
That's right. So if we're taking the Massett Family Faith Avenue project at 7, shall we say 7:30 for tech?
Sure.
Okay, is there a motion to that effect?
I so move.
Is there a second?
I second it.
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's a vote. I know where I missed house for. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, geez, that's
Well,
funny.
this is going to happen in Supreme Court, you know.
The Supreme Court of Auburn?
Why not?
Yeah, there's an even number right now.
Okay.
That's right.
All right.
That's where they
In
are.
any event, moving on, please, Don, let's move on. The next item under discussion is 498 Rochdale Street, a site visit regarding erosion control.
I don't know if you would like to set up one. I had a call from the
From who?
neighbor.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, recently?
Yeah.
Saw some
Okay.
water over there the other day.
I know this is Easter weekend. Is anyone available for sidewalks on Saturday?
No,
Yes.
we're out of town.
Okay. All right, that's fine.
Can't be done.
On Sunday.
Sorry about last Saturday too.
You should be. That's okay.
I kept going to my computer. I didn't see anything about site visits last Saturday.
We went.
Did you go?
I was away.
Was
did.
it on
I
the
was
computer?
skiing.
Did you-
No, we talked
Yeah,
about it.
Mike and I
just
went.
completely forgot about it. We
talked
had
about it.
walls and
We did.
You got distracted.
I get distracted.
I kept, well, I didn't think
Squirrel.
it was a positive, and I kept checking my email to see if you were going.
It was one of those quickies. We just went, said goodbye and.
All right.
Sorry. For once I checked my email.
So,
All right, so, well, obviously we can't do it this weekend. The following weekend, I'm going to be out of town.
I'm out of town too. then.
So perhaps we could do it the
The 9th?
9th.
April 9th. It's still
Still
before.
gone. Still
Okay.
gone on that one.
I'll
Before our
probably be
next
out of
meeting.
town that week.
Okay.
I'm gone the 2nd, yeah.
All right, so maybe we can do it on the 9th.
498 Rochdale on the 9th.
For 498 Rochdale
Okay.
Street. For Pioneer Lane, obviously, Mr. Kravosky indicated, or showed us pictures that the area is flooded, so we will defer a visit of that property for a while. Maybe we can do the same one on the 9th.
Now, wasn't the purpose of the visit to see if there was water?
I think,
yeah. As of 4 days ago, there was water.
Thanks, Chuck, that was good.
but my question would be, where is it coming from? Is that groundwater? If that's groundwater, can you imagine the height of the water table?
You know?
This
By the
is
CVS.
Oh, yeah, we just were looking at that. Louise and I were looking at that.
Oh, okay,
That's
great.
right,
Thank
that's the
you.
one, okay.
Sorry, I meant to drop
And
that
I
off
didn't
to
get
you.
that
Yeah,
new
where is
plan
that?
either, but I think.
Here, I have one.
It's probably not a spring that just suddenly sprung.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Okay. Okay, All right, so we probably don't have to
Thank you. You're welcome.
go to 4 Pioneer Lane anytime soon, and I guess we'll see Mr. Kravosky before too long. The next item is 3 Magna Vista. We discussed that as part of the town's application for the RDA.
No, actually, I think he was filling in the wetland. Wasn't somebody
So
mad that
debris
he
in the
was
brook
filling
is
in
not
the wetland,
beaver
taking out of
dam.
that
It
area?
is a combination
Then you
of,
see the
I think what's happened is that over time, trees have fallen in
Okay.
because of maybe the beaver activity and
Not
that's
dumping
gonna be.
debris, I think was her
So it's not
concern.
dumping?
That's
not dumping.
Some of those pictures, well, a couple of those related that with the trees falling. Were some of those, okay.
We're gonna take that up in a moment. The last item under discussion is 197 Packagug Street.
Keeps recurring.
Mr. Stencil. Okay.
How long has that been on the agenda?
Well,
We need,
forever because of the weather and trying to set up
we
an
need
appointment.
to set up a meeting with him
Okay.
at his property.
Do we want to do it 4/9?
Yes,
Okay. Do you want to do that first thing at 9?
yes.
Okay. 4/9 at 9.
That should give him plenty of notice.
Okay.
Please, God.
Has that been on there since last
No,
fall?
it's been on and off for a
Yeah.
while.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
yes, it has, Dan.
All right.
Okay.
Because Michelle, when you took pictures, we went that time, that was.
Now, in the past, you've sent him letters and he calls you?
Yes, I had, sent him letters, then I had spoke to him on the phone, and we were trying to set up a time, and then, I don't know.
Okay.
someone
Can you
didn't
send him
set
a
up
letter
time.
saying that,
Yeah. 4/9 at 9, and I'll call him too.
please? Thank you. Okay. So let's take up the RDA for Magna Vista. You know, I thought actually Mrs. Wharton made a good point. This has been an issue for several years. And I understand what the town intends to do in terms of removing the beaver dams and also removing the debris. I am concerned about trees that have been damaged in that area, specifically the tree that Mr. Rochford referred to. And it seems to me that if the DPW is down there removing the debris and is going to be taking out these beaver dams, they can also cut down trees or trim trees that pose a danger to abutters. I think it's kind of a no-brainer, to be honest with you.
So the thought that crossed my mind is, does any of that parcel count, I mean, apart from the beaver dams, does any of that count as wetland?
Well, I mean,
I think that is all.
it's jurisdictional, sure,
Right.
you know?
But I mean, as soon as I heard using heavy equipment in the wetland area, that kind of triggered a little voice in the back of my head.
We can, I mean, look, they've asked, it's an RDA, so they're asking us to either, give them a positive determination or a negative determination. If we tell them it's a positive determination, they have to file a notice of
Right.
intent.
Right, okay.
And, I think they would have
Mini
to,
Because it's not like an emergency condition that they
No.
can just...
but I mean, I for one would like to see a scope of work.
Right,
I
okay.
agree.
Yep.
And I
I
think
concur.
Yeah, and like I was saying, I'd like to at least know what the elevations are, because of course it looks on the map, it's gonna go right, but you don't know how the ground actually goes. It might end up somewhere else, so.
I mean, based on what, I expect that once those dams are taken out, the water table is, I mean, there's gonna be a substantial drain off of the ponded water there,
Right.
Right.
That's what they were saying, in other words, the whole level would never go in the RDA.
But it's going to be gradual, the work, right?
Of course.
But again, we don't have a scope of work.
No, we
Okay.
don't.
Right.
So, well, is there a motion then?
I will move that we issue a positive determination.
Okay. Is there a second?
I second that.
Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's a vote.
Unfortunately, I'm feeling for him, but
Well, my concern is if we get a lot of rain all of a sudden,
there's gonna be more
could
trees
be
down. That's
a
gonna be
major
ugly.
flooding event.
Yes, yeah.
That is
So,
a problem, and at that point, we'd have to act.
Well, I think there's a problem anyway. I
Yeah,
mean,
there is.
because of the ponded water,
I don't understand why they didn't
And I think it's
actually-
there's no question it's degrading the trees.
Well, I like I
Why
said
would
before,
they
I
do
don't
the
understand
other
why...
one first? Or
Oh,
does it?
oh.
Because everybody does the RDA now. That's what people
All right,
do.
so now that's going to pick them up to that
Right, you
date.
might as well do
Well,
it.
it's
That's
definitely,
the
I mean, it
So the
is.
9th?
What was the date that they?
That's us all
didn't
day.
have to
She even
file
said
with
it.
the
It used to
Board of
be just
Health
mice.
for the beavers?
It's a wetland.
I mean, I'm just curious as to why they waited as long as they did.
4:15 they have to get that
Yeah.
done, or else they have to contact me.
Oh, that's right.
So be it.
Yes, before, that's right. They said before they become active.
Yeah.
After 4:15, they become their
I
active
mean,
period.
yeah, probably gonna have to take those guys out of there.
Yeah, but you raised a good point. There's nothing to prevent them from just going back and rebuilding
I
the
agree.
dams.
I know, that's what we were
They
talking
can
about.
And
remove
the
as much
other
of the debris as they want to. It doesn't matter.
Like, look at, in these pictures, you can see like all of this tree, all this whole quarter of this tree is gone.
Yeah.
We don't know about any of the
Right.
others. She's like, if we just move it, if they're just gonna go away, they're not gonna go
No,
away.
it's a
They're gonna
natural
finish cutting
habitat
that
for
tree
them.
down,
Right.
yeah.
Well, and at the same time, I mean, if
Oh, look
the
at
beaver
that one
dams are a
right there.
recurrent problem, then maybe it's every 2 years there should be a request, not waiting 6 to 7 years. You know?
Okay.
If it keeps, yeah.
Right, if it keeps building up, you might as well breach
Yeah.
it at 2 years so it doesn't become a 6 or 7 year problem.
Well, do we even know how long the dam was there?
No.
I don't
Well,
think
she did.
saying.
Well, she had the photos. She said for what 6
I-
to 7 years.
I
ago,
don't think it's
so.
a
I
6
lost
That
the
was the
deal.
second, they said that this is the second time.
But they were talking about 2006 or 2008 or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
She referred to that time period, but she did when she spoke. Didn't she say, when
probably
we
8
were
or 9 years
here,
ago.
Well,
Well,
when we
like
were
you
here,
said,
yeah.
it takes a while for trees to die, so it's probably been a little while.
But they can be
So it
over.
wasn't 8 years.
But I mean, you would notice the
I don't
beaver
know if she
dams
came in right
before
after-
then. You'd notice the
I
ponding of the
think
water
she
before
was
I don't think
then.
necessarily, these are all dead.
I remember
Okay.
at school.
But those look like buds.
Oh.
I mean, if they just took those trees, those look like buds on
Trees.
those, on the branches there. They're not
Um,
all dead.
I mean, the thing is, we don't have comparable pictures. We
Yes.
don't have same
Right.
time of year
Right.
pictures
But
to
the last
compare
time
to
I
the
think it was
others.
8 years ago.
I mean, obviously, it needs to be taken care of. I agree with that wholeheartedly, but the way that you can't
Do
just
you
say
have
no,
a
just
form
go
for us
and go
to sign?
crazy.
Yeah, we have.
Sorry, just chatting.
Wasn't breaching of beaver dams? Wasn't that something that fell under emergency actions? Didn't we have that? Isn't there another way of filing for doing this
Yes.
procedure?
And it goes through us.
Yeah.
She
Who's
said,
this for?
Yeah.
she
This
just
was
said
the
that.
decision.
For the
Wasn't you just
positive
nominated
determination for the beaver dam.
Okay, it was Mike.
Was it you?
No.
I think it was me technically, but
It was you at one point, but I thought it was,
maybe
Then did you
Mike.
take it
I-
on?
well, yeah, but I mean, I
After that?
thought it might have been someone after Dan, but I guess Dan is the guy.
I don't think there have been any necessary actions to be.
Well, there might be. So you're
Yeah, it's
remembering
kind
a
of funny
nightmare.
that they didn't just go through that process.
Right, because that's when the
now they're-
emergency cert, like just breach the dams, get it done. You know.
Well, then maybe it's not an imminent emergency. Right?
Yeah. But on the other hand, maybe there's all this water, it's probably the right thing to do. They're gonna get in there with an excavator and cut trees down and
I mean,
do all
maybe it
this
wasn't
stuff.
an imminent problem several years ago, but now it seems pretty bad.
Well, I mean, if you remember the property, and we've walked it several times, it's a natural bowl.
Mm.
Right.
So, I mean, all the abutters on Magna Vista all live above this pond area, so I don't
Right.
think there's an imminent threat of flooding. I think there's been erosion of their property as time
Right,
has gone on.
right.
You know, so I'm not sure that
Right.
it requires an emergency cert.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, under issuances, New England Power is looking for certificates of compliance. And do you remember getting an email from me, Sheila? I sent an email saying I wanted someone from New England Power to take us to the site and show us where they did the work. All they've done is they've supplied us with photographs, and again, speaking only for myself, that's not enough. I want someone to,
Okay, I do remember that now.
okay. So if you could send I don't know who you're speaking to in New England Power, but if you could ask them to make arrangements to meet with us at the
Okay.
site. And I'm sure everything is in order, but we're not gonna just look at pictures and grant the certificate of compliance.
Where is that located again?
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
That's my point.
There are two, up off of Package Hog is
Yeah.
one of them.
Ah,
And the other
okay.
one is, where was the other one? Louise,
You know,
who said that
This is
the.
the
If
whole
you can find the poles, it's in the easement.
Oh,
One's on the
okay.
corner.
Yeah, that looks somewhat familiar.
Mhm.
But yes,
Yeah.
I
I
agree.
mean, it's a huge easement though.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Burnett. Thank you, Burnett. That's right.
Behind the house there.
Yes.
The next item is 1416 Technology Drive. Ms. Corvo and I went out last Saturday. We inspected the work and compared the work to the as-built plan. Everything seems to be in order. Would you agree?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, seem to be in order. Absolutely.
So is there a motion?
I make a motion that we give a certificate of compliance to,
I think it's,
14 was the name of the company, 1416
I have it
Technology
here.
Drive, the company name.
It's Wendy Clark, Julie Clark, trustees for Ken and K Realty Trust.
Okay.
and what's the address?
Well, 1416, I think they cut the lot.
All right, because I think this is where I got confused. The building to the right of the building we saw
Yes.
is for sale, and it's barricaded and everything else. So I think it's 14, but,
Okay.
I mean, there's a legal description for the property, which I have somewhere. It's 16 Technology Drive.
Okay.
It's 16?
Yes.
Okay.
So I think we need to make sure it's only 16.
All right, I'll cross that off when
Okay.
I retype it.
All right, so there was a motion. Was there a second?
So the motion is for 16.
For 16.
To issue a certificate of compliance for 16 Technology Drive.
A second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed to vote.
I have, this isn't mine.
Okay.
This is,
And then for the middle school, do we have an as-built plan? Are they going to give us one?
They gave me this thing, which I said is not an as-built plan. This is some,
Are you kidding?
I had contacted whomever it was that,
You need to sign it here,
okay.
isn't that Bill Fenner?
Matt Prasad, I'm sure I contacted him.
Is this yours?
Yeah, this was the plan he submitted.
I have like the real one, I'll come and visit on it.
It's not an as-built plan, I feel.
I mean, our order conditions is very clear.
Yep.
That's the same.
I have it.
Okay.
Sure, that mark was,
I think I gave you one.
I guess so.
Yeah, consider that
Huh.
an as-built.
What?
No, it's not stamped.
Yeah. No stamp.
That's unusual.
No.
No,
No.
no. It's colorful,
I will
pretty,
contact
but
them
it's
again.
not what we're
Yeah, just
looking
if you
for.
would, just tell them that the order conditions is very clear, and
Yeah.
we're not going to issue a certificate of compliance without an as-built.
Yeah, it doesn't have all the usual details in the margins.
Sheila, that mark on that, is that for another reason, for someone else?
No, probably just got stuff on there.
Okay, that goes on top.
All right.
And what is
Thank you.
this? Waterman Design. Okay.
All right, we've talked about notification to abutters. There is a distinction between the Wetlands Protection Act, which doesn't require a certified mail, and our bylaw, which does. So I think we've answered that question. And again, I will speak to, or hope to speak to Attorney Hennigan tomorrow
Thank you.
regarding our unusual situation.
And then when we added that to our bylaws, that was partially from looking at other towns' bylaws having similar stipulations. So
Yeah, I mean,
it's not like we just came up with that
we're
requirement
not
out
the
of thin
only
air.
ones. That's right.
So-
The concern is also precedent setting for
Right.
whatever.
Right. Just because you didn't know about our bylaw doesn't mean you get to not comply with it.
Right.
Okay. Do we have the willpower to deal with the minutes?
They're too.
They're not too bad.
Come
Well,
on
we
now.
don't have a lot.
Shouldn't she trim these down a little bit?
And that's no
Wait,
comment on
You
what
know
you
what, I'm
did.
going to make a motion that Carolyn does the minutes of the meeting from now on.
I'm trying to give you a break.
I know. No, I should be not so
Well, then that would be less
Very
time.
difficult,
Would be
yeah.
less time people
So-
go over them.
You basically looked at the tape of
Oh,
the
yeah.
meeting.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And that was the only correction on
Um,
that one.
This is why.
Did you have a chance to review them?
I have not looked at just the March 9th. I
Yeah.
have not.
No, I
No,
just,
it's on the table.
It's not that long.
No.
No, it isn't.
Why don't we take it out?
Mostly Glenn.
We can tag team.
It's
Just
busy.
about all my
Glenn.
brain hurt though.
Actually,
Agent.
well, Glenn talked the whole time.
I know, I couldn't
Oh my,
believe
look
it.
at all those
my Lord.
details.
That's why I was
Mr.
giving him a hard
Grabowski,
time when he
Mr.
was here.
Grabowski, Mr. Grabowski.
That's not, yeah.
Just say,
It's quite detailed.
that's what he does.
And I was trying to take notes for you.
No,
So are you.
I was like, yeah.
Oh,
I'm
you
out.
motioned to,
You gotta summarize, it's just, he'll.
Michelle, you motioned to
tell you
adjourn it,
about
I said-
soils,
Oh, and all the jargon.
the jargon,
You will
yes.
get buried in
You don't
jargon.
even know what the
I will
jargon
say
is.
this, I mean, I think actually your summary actually, accurately reflects what was discussed.
Yeah, I think
Having
he did a
s-
better job than Sheila. No, I'm kidding.
Sheila did all of this. I did none of this. I'm just gonna say that right now. This is all
like-
Sheila, and I honestly.
I had to listen to the meeting.
I like the line that says Mr. Kravosky explained the 72-page notice of intent filing having 32 exhibits.
My God.
Yep.
But what is not mentioned in here is what he referred to again, which was Mass Fish and Wildlife and the sediment loading issue.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, so what I would suggest, do you think you sent a letter to Mr. Hartley?
I think I did.
Okay. You didn't send it to me though, did you?
You know what, I think I
Otherwise-
tried to send it to you and it wouldn't go through again.
Okay.
And I think I just put it in the, it was just a letter saying that we would like them to visit the site along with Mass DOT.
Okay. Did you, but you didn't propose a date, did you?
No, because I don't know what date they were gonna go.
Right.
I'll send that letter to you.
Yeah, please
And
do.
I'm sure I sent it.
Okay.
I have a couple minor modifications for the first page. Okay, so just over halfway down, plans from Waterman Design, 2 lines after that, Mr. Kravosky explained that sand has formed a delta.
Yeah.
3 lines after that, the proposed realignment of Faith Avenue would create a 360-foot road having full stormwater management.
Yeah, that's good management.
And 3rd line from the bottom, the request to amend the order of conditions was requested for plans submitted by capital H, S, and T. because
They
it
don't
is-
have it capital.
Doesn't matter.
It's probably
Oh,
because it's a
does it?
company.
I don't-
It's,
I think
unless they're specifically making lowercase, it's...
They are.
the
On
alternative would be
everything
to
it is.
spell out the names of the of HS and T.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Because I
So
think he's
I'll
right.
make
Otherwise, it
that-
looks kind of like a typo.
Well, that's how they put that all in their plans, lowercase.
Right.
So that's why I did
But
it
I
like
think
that.
that the better way is just to spell it.
Or spell it out.
And then if you want to put in parentheses HS and T, that's fine.
Okay.
The only, aside from Dan's changes, I think there should be discussion or some addition about
The fish and
fish
wildlife.
and wildlife. So, do you want to take another shot at these? And we can take it up at the next meeting?
Yeah. And then there was a discussion on continuing, and it didn't seem like anyone motioned on that one.
I'm almost sure that Dan did and that I seconded it.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I'm sure that's the case.
Blankety blank.
All right, so we'll just, we'll take up the minutes at the next meeting.
Okay. All right, now
Very
just
respectful.
add in. Oh, got it on the bottom here too.
I did notice, Sheila, that you you respectfully submitted these
Yes, I
minutes
did.
twice.
Yeah.
It's very,
Well,
very respectfully submitted.
Thank you. I thought you'd notice that.
That was nice.
And on the February 10th, we did do that one, and the
Yes.
only thing was the ED on this
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
Did you-
I did get that on the meeting.
Okay, all right.
Thank you, though.
All right, does anyone have anything else? Okay,
Okay, so you're doing the site visits on the 9th.
we are.
Well,
Okay.
actually, I do have something else. I have these chocolate covered whole cherries.
Rush,
Okay.
And you can have one.
I have that for Rushville, Maston's
Is
on
the
the 9th.
distribution of
That's it.
candies on the agenda?
Rushville,
Yes, yes.
Okay, okay.
Ooh.
Maston's is first.
Oh, really good.
Yeah, and then we wanted to see about when we can get together with Winland Power to go
Not
visit
bad.
that site.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second that.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, so voted. All right, thank you very much, everyone.